Welcome back to Week 7 of Prospect Football Weekly, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings and Mount Prospect. I'm Connor Graver, sitting in for host Wyatt Dutrek, and I'm here with head coach Dan DeBuff. Coach, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Rolling Meadows offense exploded on Friday night. What adjustments were made during the game to try to keep them off the field as much as possible?
Yeah, our biggest goal is just to get first downs to try to keep our defense off the field. There's times that I felt like we did that in the first half, specifically the second quarter. I thought we battled pretty hard.
Right.
And then we kind of fell off a little bit in the second half.
You kept a lot of your first-team guys in the latter portions of that game. Was that an intended move for confidence or something of that caliber?
Well, a couple things. We got a lot to work on, obviously, so we want our guys to get those reps.
Right.
And, the Rolling Meadows team didn't take any of their starters out either, so we felt like it was a good opportunity to keep competing.
Absolutely. How do you look at the game against Rolling Meadows in the film session?
To be honest with you, we came in on Saturday morning and we didn't watch the Rolling Meadows film.
Okay.
Yeah, we decided as a coaching staff and as a program that we were going to move forward and focus on these next couple weeks and really focus on BG. So we came in the morning and we had a fresh start and started working on Buffalo Grove right away.
What are some positives that you would try to take away from a game like that?
I think it's great for our guys to see what a really good quality program looks like with the kids that have worked really hard. I think the last 2 weeks we've seen a program that's in a really good place, and that's our goal to get to that point.
Right.
So that's kind of a model for us to follow.
What do you think out of all of the moments in that game, what were some game-changing moments?
I was excited to see the way that we battled, especially in the second quarter after going down a few scores and then kind of battling ourselves back into the game. One of the biggest turning points, unfortunately, was it was a 2-score game with about a minute left in the half. We had them 4th and 28, and they ended up scoring on that drive.
Yeah.
That was kind of a big momentum swing. I felt like if we could have held them there, 2-score game at half, that would have been the closest game that Meadows has had all year by far. So.
Right. That's all we have for Coach DeBuff. Stay tuned for an interview with offensive lineman Caleb Smith. Welcome back to Prospect Football Weekly, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings and Mount Prospect. I'm here with offensive lineman Caleb Smith. Caleb, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
With Sebastian Swiatek, a starter from last year, going down to injury, how is the offensive line bonded together?
It was really unfortunate to lose Sebastian, but I feel like we go by one of Beisch's sayings, that is, you can't fight one lineman, you fight all five. So we've really come together to be a hardworking group who likes to have fun, and we just work hard together and we get it done.
Absolutely. Last week was a tough week against a really strong Rolling Meadows defense. How was the O-line improved for the game against Buffalo Grove?
It all comes down to we got to stay lower, we got to strike harder, we got to run our feet, and we didn't do that every play against Meadows, and it didn't turn out well. So we need to have a great week against Buffalo Grove and hopefully get that W.
Absolutely. How have players like Mitch Camp and other seniors on this offensive line helped you transition?
It was nice to have a couple guys from my sophomore year to my junior year staying with me, helping me out.
Right.
And it's also nice to have somebody in the huddle saying, hey, get to finish this play. Hey, make sure you take your steps this play. Make sure you get the right set here. Make sure your eyes are up, you're looking for linebackers. It's just nice to get those reminders in the huddle of what I need to do every play.
Absolutely. You touched a little bit too. How has Coach Beischer helped you transition?
I feel like Coach Beischer is one of the coaches who care about their kids the most. I feel like he's always there for us. He wants to fight with us. He'll work with us. He'll do everything with us. And it's just it's really nice to have a coach that cares about the individuals on the team that he works with.
Absolutely. With Coach DeBuff running this up-tempo offense, what challenges does that bring to you guys up front?
Well, it's obviously hard to do a play and you're running your feet and then have to run, if it's a 20-yard play, to run downfield 20 yards. That can get kind of difficult when we get tired, but what we forget about is that the defensive line is also tired.
Right.
So I feel like it's hard to keep pushing yourself with that up-tempo offense, but if you do it, it pays off. One
more question. What is the locker room mentality going into the game against BG this Friday?
We're in the hunt. Beischer says that a lot. We're in the hunt. We gotta. It's fun to be in the hunt. We gotta get 3 W's and we're in the playoffs. So we're really excited to be in the hunt, and we're going to look forward to being there.
Absolutely. That's all we have for Caleb. Stay tuned with a special interview with Frisbee with Coach Camardella. Welcome back to Prospect Football Weekly, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings in Mount Prospect. I'm here with Frisbee sponsor, John Camardella. Coach, thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely, Connor. Good to be here.
You know, not too many people know, but Prospect has an Ultimate Frisbee Club. Can you tell us about the backstory of it and how it was started?
Yeah, my first year at Prospect was 2003, and when I was getting to know one of my U.S. history classes, they were peppering me with questions about what I did, for fun in college,
Right.
And I told them that in the off season, we played a lot of Ultimate Frisbee and did a couple tournaments at other universities, and some of them had never heard of it, and so we started a club with only 24 kids that first year.
Wow.
And it's grown since then.
Absolutely. Like, touching on that too, did you expect it to become one of the largest clubs in District 214?
It doesn't surprise me when you let kids, I should say young adults, take responsibility and accountability for
Right.
themselves.
Right.
I think we provide, and the school allows me to provide a fun platform for us to get together on Friday afternoon and bring people from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different ages. And kids have taken it and run with it and sort of made it their own, and proud to be a part of it.
Absolutely. How many total teams are there competing this year, and how does that compare to the first few years?
So the first year we had 4.
Wow.
This year we're the highest we've ever had. We're at 21, including 6 all-girl teams, which is a new record for our club. This year we topped off at 291 members.
Wow.
So you would imagine that Mellis Park is quite packed with Prospect students.
Absolutely.
All in their jerseys, decked out every Friday.
Absolutely. Like you said, it seems like the students get really excited over these matches. How intense can some of these games get?
I would almost tell people they got to come out and see it. I'm the lone sponsor, so you can imagine we have 10 fields going at a time.
Right.
And when I'd like to believe that I help build up some of the hype to some of the bigger games. We do the power rankings and have some fun each week with that. And yeah, we try and build things up to see who's going to win out at the end of the year.
Right.
I think the Frisbee Trophy is one of the more sought after things at Prospect, and so if anybody wants to visit it, it's in room 131. But no, it's something that's great, and I appreciate the camaraderie, the sportsmanship, but it's also competitive when it gets down to it. It's great.
Absolutely. How do you think the club has created school unity with the students?
I think it's always been something I've loved supporting, is that I wanted to provide an environment that was fun, that was safe, that we could get students, like I said, from all backgrounds together, and they can join with their friends. They can create a team. You have some teams that haven't lost this year. You have some teams that haven't won this year.
Right.
And I'd venture a guess that if you came and watched Frisbee for a few hours and didn't know much of what was going on, you might not be able to tell who's winning and who's losing just based on everybody getting together and having some fun. So it's just something I really think helps build the culture of pride and respect here at Prospect. I think it's great to watch students interact with each other in healthy ways and start their weekend off right.
Absolutely. And switch it up a little bit. Prospect basketball is right around the corner. What is the team going to be doing on Saturday during Prospect Gives Back?
Great. Well, due to IHSA regulations, I actually can't be involved. But the players are hosting a free clinic over at RecPlex.
Okay.
So they're putting on a free clinic for younger kids. But unfortunately, like I said, I can't be running it.
Right.
So our players have done it. Last few years, it's gone really well. We have an outside adult there sponsoring. And again, it's an activity that Mr. Mirandola has put together. I think it's done great things for our school.
Absolutely.
I think it helps us thank the community for supporting our high school. And I'm really proud of the guys and look forward to hearing how this year goes.
Absolutely. That's all we have for Coach Camardella. Stay tuned to preview our game against Buffalo Grove this week with head coach Dan DeBuff. Welcome back to Prospect Football Weekly, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. Head coach Dan DeBuff is back here to preview the game against Buffalo Grove this Friday. Buffalo Grove is another team with a lot of experience. What have you seen from them so far?
I think their Coach Lick, does a nice job preparing their team to play every week. I think that it's a really evenly matched game. I think if anybody's looking for a battle, there should be a really good one on Friday night.
Absolutely. How do you think your team compares with theirs?
Honestly, I feel like we're really similar. We've both been dealing with a few injuries. We talked a little bit We lost Sebastian this summer.
Right.
They lost one of their best players as well. So I think that kind of matches up. But I think skill-wise, we're a really evenly matched team, and it should be a really good battle.
Right. To touch on that a little bit more, injuries are really hurting Buffalo Grove right now, especially with their run game. How important is it to keep them in those smaller gains on the ground?
Yeah, I think Coach Collins will do a great job preparing our defense again, and we'll try to put them in tough situations, and we'll put a lot of pressure on them and see kind of where the chips fall.
Absolutely. Last week, Buffalo Grove struggled mightily against Hersey. How motivated do you think you're going to be this week?
I think both teams are going to be extremely motivated. If you look at where we're at, them versus us, we're both 3-3.
Right.
With 3 wins to win out the season, we both can qualify for the playoffs.
Right.
And I think motivation should be at an all-time high there.
Absolutely.
I think you're going to see a really good atmosphere Friday night.
Absolutely. Buffalo Grove, even with their struggles, has a pretty good defense. After a 14-point offensive performance last week, how critical is it to finish drives?
It's really important. Focusing how we finish in the red zone is really important. I think we're showing flashes every game of being a really tough offense to deal with. We just need to try to find that consistency.
Right. Especially with the playoffs beginning in 3 weeks from Friday, is the team going in with the mentality of a must-win game?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our goal from the first day I got here is the next step for this program is to get back to the playoffs. And we have that goal attainable in front of us. It's going to take a really good effort on a day-in, day-out basis. We're taking this game really serious. The kids know that this is do or die time for
Absolutely.
us. Those seniors are playing for how long they get to play.
Absolutely. And to touch a little bit more, the football team is going to wake up early Saturday morning for Prospect Gives Back. What will the team be doing on Saturday?
They're going to be working at Mount Prospect Fall Fest. This is a great opportunity for our guys to continue to serve their community.
Absolutely.
The football program's done a ton of community service already. This is a great way to try to cap off kind of what we've done so far.
Definitely. That's all we have for Coach DeBuff and all we have for this week of Prospect Football Weekly. We'll see you next week, and go Knights.